Hello everyone, I welcome you to this course EDT811, Theory of Communication and Philosophical Basis of Instructional and Media. My name is Dr. Ayodeji Badmus. Many of times we communicate and we do not understand how it is being processed. Communication as a body of knowledge, it is based on some scientific and philosophical theories. It is upon this theory that communication as a study is developed. In this lesson, we shall learn about theories and theorem. We'll learn about communication theory. Sit back and let's go to the class. You are welcome. Now you are welcome to the class. The course title of this course is Theories of Communication and Philosophical Basis of Instruction and Media. Once again, my name is Dr. Ayodeji Badmus. Now let us go to the class. What is going to be our lesson outcome for this lesson? It's coming out. The lesson outcome, we have definition of theory. We are going to differentiate between the theorems from theories, definition of communication theories, and history of communication theories. Now, what mean by theories? Theory is not a new thing to us. We are familiar with the word. At this master level, we are familiar with the word and we are familiar with how we make use of theory. Now, but if we ask ourselves, theory is a way to explain a set of facts. When we say theory, actually theory is abstract in nature. People will say, prove it, prove it. Because theory is something that we cannot see with our naked eyes. A theory often called hypothesis. These are tentative statements. We have statements like, I will go there if, because we don't know what be the end. We don't know what will happen if we go there until we embark on the journey. There is another question that you can say, what will happen to us when Y is present? We may not know. So, but for the theory will enable us to find out what could be the end and what could be the answer. Now, theory are rules, are techniques. They are the body of rules, ideas, principles, and techniques that apply to a subject, especially when seen at distance from actual. People may have observed something abstractly, but in order to get the facts, maybe whether that thing exists or not, we need to prove it. Now, people are also seeing theory as a scientific principle to explain phenomena. There are so many concepts, there are so many terms that are not comprehended to human nature, to human understanding. But with the theories and the processes or procedures involved, theory is a set of facts, proposition or principle analyzed in their relation to one another and used, especially in science, to explain phenomena. Why we need to another definition of theory from Kaninga 1964. He defined theories as a body of concept, statement, or assumption that have been subjected to empirical tests. That is theory. That is subjected to empirical tests, something that we actually be proven to be believed that it actually exists. That is theory. It gets the formation of rules or principles which right knowledge forms. That is Kaninga 1964. Now, why do we need to study theory? Why theory is important? We have so many reasons why theory is important. The first one is theory provides concept to name what we observe, to give name what we observe, and to explain relationships between concepts. Because theory will give clarity and explanation to what really happened. Now, another one is that theory allows us to explain what we see and to figure out how it brings about change. That is why in the laboratory, when you say mix something together, it will give you this, it will give you something, a result. Now, that is theory. Theory is finding now how it come about the changes. Now, another one is that theory will enable us to identify a problem and to plan a means for altering the solution. Now, when there is a particular situation or particular concept to be proven, theory enables us to identify a problem and the plan at which we can go about it to find the solution. Now that we've defined the theories and we know about the theories, theory is a way to explain a set of facts. Now, what is theorem? Now, during our secondary school age, we may have familiar with some theories in mathematical, like algebra equation, and so many formulas that we may are familiar with. Now, theorem in the theory. Theorem give provable position or formula. Theorem at times is what actually give idea accepted as true. It is a first step in testing or applying the theories in a concrete situation. Theory is a step taken. It's quite different from theory. Theorem is the step taken in testing or applying the theory in a concrete situation. Now, like we are familiar with the proving of formula in mathematics. Proving that formula a plus 1 until we get to the actual solution or answer. That is theorem. So theorem give idea that is accepted as true. Let's talk about history of communication and theory. How this thing gets started and why we are using the theory for communication. What is the relationship? Now, we have Claude Sennor and Warren Whiffer. These two people developed theory of communication in 1948. It was Sennor that developed communication theory, and which is called information theory. And Sennor was known as information theory, which also later elaborated and give a more popular by Warren Whiffer. Warren Whiffer extended Sennor's insights about electronic signal transformation, which flow into a broad theoretical model of human communication. Now, if the Sennor have tried to expand the information theory into and broken down into different components of communication. That is why communication is not completed. It's not complete until we have this component. The first one is medium. The medium used to transmit a message. Medium also represents a channel. All this one we further discuss in the subsequent lesson. The second one is feedback. Feedback gives information. Is information about a message that a receiver sends back to the sender. Now, it just like reply, and it shows that the person have gotten the message. The next one is when we have interpretation. Interpretation are all operations that a receiver performs in order to decode and understand a message. We still have message itself. Message actually is the information or signal sent from a sender to a receiver. Message could be instruction in the classroom, could be anything, could be idea, could be norms and values, could be attitude, but these are the information or signal sent from the sender to a receiver. They are content of a communication. Then another component that we may talk about, there are many. We have signal. Signal is an information source, a person or device that originates a message. You could also refer to as sender. All these and many more shall be discussed in our other lesson. Now, for such what we've discussed, pause this video and use 2 minutes to answer the question. You are welcome back. Now, let's define communication. What is communication? Communication is from the word communis, and communis means to share. Communis means to share, and the details of this definition will be taught in the next class. But let's ask ourselves, what is communication? Like what I've said, it's referred to as to share. To share what? To share idea, to share feelings, and we have this we have the definition on the screen now. Communication is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system or symbols, sign or behavior. Communication is the information transfer from the sender to the receiver, and there are so many ways it can be defined, which will be done in subsequent lesson. Now, let's talk about communication theories. Communication theories is referred to the body of theories that constitute our understanding of the communication process. If you could remember, we've defined theories. Theories is a way to explain a set of facts, and is provide concept to name what we observe and to explain relationship between the concept. To make it join it with the communication, we find out that communication theory is a body of theories that constitutes our understanding of the communication, because it involves process and procedure. That is, before we can say we have communicated, there are certain rules and procedure we must have accomplished. That is why we should know how the components of communication are working together. Now let us discuss some of these communication theories, and we have about 10 of them, but we only explain 5 of this communication theory, and you also have time to go through the manual and read others. Then we come to the class or at the discussion forum to discuss about them. Now, the first one that we are going to discuss about is called communication accommodation theory, and the second one will be coordinated management of meaning, where we also discuss about the cultural approach to organization theory, and then we talk about groupthink theory. Communication accommodation theory. These theories argue that during the communication, people try to accommodate or adjust their style of speaking to others. And we also familiar, this one is common with our ladies. However, if they have not adjusted the way of speaking, they may find it difficult to communicate in the society. And when they are doing this, we know them by their style. So the theory believe that people are trying to accommodate themselves and put themselves in a position where they can communicate very well. The second one is coordinated management of meaning. The theories under this theory believe that in communication to people, in conversation, people co-create meaning by attaining some coherence and coordination. This coherence occurs when stories are told. Coherence occurs when stories are told, while coordination exists when stories are lived. So It happens in that way, and that is the argument and belief of the theories. The third one is cultural approach to organization. The theory believe that the media represent ideologies of the dominant class in a society. We have some people in the society which people have already put ahead to anything that happened. So the theories believe, and the cultural theories also are concerned with media influence and how power plays in communication. We always give those on top, we always give them time, we give them space, we give them anything to communicate to us. So by the virtue of power and the cultural values attached to their level. So culture influences the way we talk. At times in a situation, our position in the society, the culture of our society also normally dictate to us and adjust the way we talk, we communicate. The next one is phase negotiation theory. Phase negotiation theory is concerned with how people in individualistic and collective cultures negotiate phase in conflict situation. We at times in our society, even in some culture like in Yoruba culture, they normally say there's another say that ojúlọ̀rọ̀ wà. That means that it's when we see ourselves we go talk, not on the phone. So there are some situations where there is conflict between two groups. When you put them together and see each other, they normally solve the problem. When they come together and see themselves, this is what we call free negotiation theory. And the theory is based on phase management. We describe how people from different culture manage conflict negotiation in order to maintain phase. And there's also adage that says, bójú bá yẹjú kó wọ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. That is, as we are departing, we have agreed. That is the meaning literally. We have agreed when we see ourselves to do this. As we are departing, our agreement should not be tarried. Our agreement should be intact. That is just the meaning. The last one that we talk about for this lesson is groupthink theory. Groupthink theory contains that the argument is that group members frequently think similarly and reluctant to share unpopular or dissimilar ideas with others. And when this occurs, group prematurely make decisions, some of which can have lasting consequences. This is only happened to even when we are together and we are to take decision. Reluctantly, somebody can suggest to bring an idea, can suggest an idea, and reluctantly we can take the idea, and we believe that collectively that what since we have agreed, whatever the outcome of that agreement is a collective decision. So this also is part of the communication theories that we can talk under this. Let's take some time and get answer this question. Thank you that we have answered the question. We meet in the next class. Thank you. You are welcome. Goodbye.